And I just realized I was muted. That's great. I was going to say, I'm going to go grab a glass of water. I'll be back in a sec. All right. Yeah, forgot to get that glass. I got my coffee before starting, but forgot to get my water. Um, yeah, so I was on mute there for like the first minute and stuff. The joys of live streaming. Yeah, when I'm in OBS with my own live stream, um, I'm basically got it all controlled with my stream deck. I'm wondering for these solo streams if I should just use OBS instead of the studio in Restream, and then maybe just keep the studio for just the guests. But anyways, I digress. But what I was saying when I was muted was these live streams. These are like, I mean, the live stream in general is informal. Even when we have guests, it's pretty laid back. I dropped it in the chat, but like I mentioned when you couldn't hear me, we're going to be hanging out with Becca Harwit Weigel on Thursday. She'll be the first guest on the live stream, and we're going to be talking about what's your content stack. And essentially, she works over at the Linux Foundation. We're going to talk about open source, and we're going to talk about how to make meaningful content that resonates with devs. Um, and again, because I was muted before, basically this live stream, like when it's just me flying solo, it's me exploring things with our product Pomerium. You can check it out at pomerium.com if you want to. I'll drop that in the chat. Um, if you are not familiar with Pomerium, do not don't worry, I don't take offense. I honestly did not know about the product until I started working here, or until I was interviewing. And sorry. But basically, I'll get into what we are. But this live stream is really for me to learn about the product, integrate it with things, maybe do silly demos. This is basically just kind of like my playground. So also just trying to build some community around the product. I know community can be a loaded term, but this is really just hanging out. And if you're, think of it more like these streams is more like a co-working stream, and I'm just working on stuff. Sometimes I'll be working on stuff that's for a future stream. Like today, I'm gonna be on the CFE YouTube in March on my own channel, Two Full Two Stack, about securing LLMs, and I'm kind of messing around with that today, just testing things out here. But yeah, essentially that's what this stream is for. And I see there's a few people in the chat, so thanks for hanging. Let me just go ahead check socials real quick, and then let's see here. Cool. All right, awesome. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Make sure I share the right one. Not that I have anything to hide, but I don't think anybody needs to see my work Slack. Okay, so yeah, so here's the live stream that's booked for this Thursday, like I was saying. So what we're gonna look at today is this guide here, and I'm gonna paste that in the chat. So um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna explain what Pomerium is every time I do this live stream, but we can do it one more time, I guess, for now. I'm wondering if I mean, I can just drop you to the guides, but I'll do it one more time here. So like Pomerium, where is it? Zero Trust, Pomerium Zero Fundamentals. No. What's the best one to look up here? Zero Trust, maybe. Internals. Okay, yeah, we can drop this if you're curious, but essentially what we are is, and I'll use this one again here. So we're a layer 7, we sit at layer 7 of the network stack. So layer 7 is where like it's literally like the application level, like where requests come in, cookies, the route you're hitting, etc. And we're at this level because we're an identity aware proxy. So there's a few things to unpack there. So identity aware meaning And we got to fix this here because I'm going to take a screenshot of this, but this is cut off. And I don't know if that's because I'm zoomed in right now. Let me zoom out. I always zoom in when I'm streaming because, okay, yeah. So it's not just because I'm zoomed in that it's actually cut off. Cool. So I'm going to take a note of that. Also, during these live streams, like I said, I'm going to find stuff. So, like in our docs, so to just improve. And like I said, things aren't always going to work. That happened on the first stream, which is totally cool. But okay, let me just add this to my notes, which we don't need over here. Okay, cool. And let's do that. Cool. I'm just going to put a note, fix this, fix cutoff text in image. Cool. All right. So yeah. So like I was saying, we're at layer 7. So we're literally at the level where we can intercept your requests where, like you're literally saying go to page X, cookies, all that stuff is accessible at this point. And it's an identity aware proxy. That's essentially what Pomerium is. I'm still learning things, so I may screw up some things, but that's how we go. That's how we learn. So we have this identity provider. So an identity provider, think of you're all probably familiar with this, even if you might have not heard the term identity provider. But think of like single sign-on with like GitHub, Google, Microsoft, you name it. Essentially, you're gonna this purple part here, and that's the other thing we need to update the logo because this is the logo at the top left now. But essentially, this purple circle here is Pomerium, and we have like on-premise users and we have remote users, and we'll get to all that here in a sec. But essentially, regardless of whether you're in an office or remote, everybody goes through the same place, and that's Pomerium. And so Pomerium is going to go like basically what happens is I'm going to say like, I don't know, I want to go to secured application 1 down here on the bottom left here. And Pomerium's going to go, okay. And this doesn't matter if you're on-premise user or remote. It's going to go, okay. Somebody wants to go to this route to go to this server. I have no idea who they are. So let's go identify them. And we're going to hit the identity provider. So maybe at your company, that's Google. So you log in with Google, comes back, and you get information about you. And then it's like, okay, Pomerium's like, okay, yeah, that's this looks like this is this Nick guy. He wants to access this thing down here, this secured application. Is he allowed to? So another part of the identity aware proxy is there's this policy engine. Sounds super scary and stuff, but basically it's like, can person X do certain thing based on certain criteria? So that could be something as simple as Nick's trying to access, a secure Pomerium application. Is his email from pomerium.com? It is. Okay, he can go there. Oh, Nick's friend Becca just connected, and she wants to go to the same place. But Becca, what's her email? Oh no, it's from Linux Foundation, so no, she can't go there and gets denied. You know, so that's kind of like a simple policy, and they can be more complex, but it could be other stuff like think about you're on call. I've mentioned this a couple times, so if people have heard this already, all good. Not trying to be annoying, just trying to hammer the point home. But say I'm on call, so like I get the pager duty notification in the app. Oh, Nick, you're on call this weekend, Friday till 11 a.m. on Monday. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Oh, something's wrong in production. I need to go to it. So it's going to check again. Okay, this is Nick. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, he's pomerium.com. That's cool. But let's check. Is he on call? Does he have the on call role? Okay, he does. But what's the time range that he has that he's allowed to be in production while on call? Okay, it's Friday 11 a.m. till Monday 11 a.m. It's Saturday 1 p.m. So, all right, cool. You can go to production. Monday hits and my coworker Joe takes over, and I try to do the same thing. It's gonna go, okay, cool. That's Nick. All right, that checks out. Okay, he's pomarium.com for his email. That checks out. Oh, he doesn't have the on-call role. Sorry, man. You can't go there. So it's stuff like this, and it's this constant verification of who you are, what you can do. It's all based on who you are and just a context of what you're trying to do, and like context really matters basically in this case. Um, so that's kind of essentially it. And now uh, to kind of explain, I'll drop this again, but I have a YouTube short that explains this. And sorry, I was looking at Slack there for a second. Let me get back to there we go. Cool. I'm gonna drop a link to a YouTube short I did, uh, which I think conveys this, but let's go to shorts. Okay. And this is going to explain the difference between zero trust and perimeter based security. And I'll get into that in a second here, but I'll just go ahead and drop that. So, what I just explained all here is basically zero trust principles. So, zero trust is really like, it's not that you don't trust anybody, it's just you always have to verify who this person is and what they're trying to do. So that's why I'm saying, like, in terms of context really matters, and who you are. So I'm just dropping all kinds of links, I know. But the thing is with perimeter based security, which is a older security model that is generally frowned upon. Well, I don't know if frowned upon is the proper term, but here, let me just go to just me without my screen for a second. You don't need to see my daily.dev, but shout out to daily.dev. So perimeter based security is uh, something that you're probably familiar with if you've ever used a VPN, whether that's work, or I know people use it to obviously watch content and stuff that's not accessible in countries and stuff. You get on this other network. But the thing with perimeter based security is it checks who you are, but only once, like when you connect. It's just like, okay, okay, you said you're Nick. Okay, cool. You're in the network. And then that's it. There's no more verification after that. And that's the huge difference. And this can be dangerous. And like I give the example in that YouTube short, but like, so when you go to the airport, let's talk about uh like zero trust again. So I get to the airport, I'm flying to I'm going on vacation somewhere soon for the March break. So I've got my passport. I might not have my boarding pass yet. So I got to go to the ticket counter. I've got to show my passport. They're like, okay, you are Nick Taylor. Okay, cool. Let me look in the system. Okay, you do have a flight booked. So that's all good. Here's your boarding pass. That's like one check. Then we're like, okay, let's go through security now. Get to security. Can I see your boarding pass? Can I see your passport? Okay, yeah, cool. Thanks. We need to check all your bags. Put them on the conveyor belt, roll them through. We're going to do a security check on you, whether you're in that machine where you got your hands up spinning around or whatever, or the pat down. They just basically, they're checking you again. And for example, say there's something in your luggage you can't bring, you're going to be pulled over. It's going to get verified again, depending on what it is. Maybe you can't continue, but usually it's stuff like, oh, well, this is I don't know. When I travel, I have like my laptop, I'll have my iPad, and I usually have like a battery charger. And they always like, I try to pull it all out, but like sometimes I forget the battery chargers in there, or like the power brick for your Mac. And so they'll be like, what's this? And I'm like, oh, that's just power and stuff. And then they're like, okay, go ahead. Cool. I'm in the secured part of the airport now where people catch flights. Okay, so I'm in there now, and it's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go catch my flight. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the gate. and they're gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, you're at the wrong gate. You can't go in here." So I'm like, "Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. It's I'm in the wrong. I'm 5 gates away or something." I go to the proper gate, then they're gonna check and they're gonna be like, "Okay, yeah, I saw your passport. We see your boarding pass. That's the right gate. Everything's good to go. Oh, wait, you're like 3 hours early, so you can't board yet. So there's these constant checks all the time, and this is a good thing. And I think people can relate to this in the airport. Yes, people get annoyed with airports sometimes, I know, but that's like, you know that's not a bad thing necessarily, these checks. Now let's talk about the context of if this was a VPN. So with the VPN, think of it as just like you got your passport, um, and then you just go to security, you just show your passport. They're like, all good. They didn't even check for a boarding pass. They didn't ask you to check your bags or pat you down or anything. They just said, okay, you're Nick. Okay, go through. And then you're in the secured area. And they never check who you are again. And at this point, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but I could go up to the gate and say, "Hi, I'm Nick. I'm the pilot for the 5 p.m. flight." And they'd be like, "Oh well, he's in the secure area, so and he is Nick, so he says he's Nick, so and the pilot's name is Nick, I think. Maybe it's some other Nick, but regardless, at this point they just basically trust me. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's really the difference. And I keep trying to hammer that home. So if you keep hearing me talking about airports and zero trust, that is basically why. So that's the gist of it. And cool, cool, cool. Just checking a couple things here. Cool. All right, so let's get back to this tutorial here. So, okay, let me share my screen again. Cool. All right, gotta take a sip of coffee. All right. Side note, but we have like a decent coffee filter machine. It's just like a Hamilton Beach, which is like a pretty common brand. But recently, as we were at the frippery, which is like a, I guess, equivalent in the other countries, maybe a Salvation Army or a secondhand store. And there was an espresso machine there, and there was just like the tray was broken, but we got a new tray, cleaned it out, and works perfectly. So I'm drinking a nice Nespresso coffee at the moment. So, anyways, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and uh, check out this tutorial on securing uh, basically local language, sorry, self-hosted large language models. So there's a couple things here. So there's Olama, which is, if we come here, Olama is a great tool. It's from the folks at Meta, but basically it allows you to run large language models. And there's a lot of open source ones. Llama has provided some. You can run, like, for example, some of these here. I'm not going to go into a deep dive of large language models here or anything, but basically you can use this. And do I have it running right now? I do have Olama. Okay, so like Olama has an API, but you can also do it from the terminal. I think I have it running. Okay, yeah, I do. Okay, cool. So let's just do Control R, Olama. All right, let's just run one of these. Okay, and I'll zoom this in here, but I can send a message here. So I'm in the terminal, and I can say, I don't know, like let's see what it says. Explain what zero trust is. Trust security is. It'll probably do a better explanation than me, but we'll see. So I'm in the CLI and I can ask questions and I can get an answer. Okay, it's going on and on. Anyways, so you can use Olama that way, and you can use different models. Like, so I was using the Llama 3.2, but there's other ones you can use. There's Code Llama. You can use the DeepSeek and stuff. That's one part of things. Okay, and let's just get out of here. The other thing is, like, that's fine. And if you want to be at the, in your shell. That's nothing wrong with that. It works perfectly fine. But there's also this open source project called Open Web UI. So I'm gonna just drop links to these things there. And let's just get a link for Olama. I think a lot of people have heard of Olama, maybe not so much the Open Web UI. Let's just drop those. Cool. All right. So yeah. So basically, Open Web UI. Think of like ChatGPT or Claude. It's really just a nice UI where you can ask questions. You can have different users, and you can run this all on your computer. So um, that's what we're going to do today. But you could deploy this somewhere too, and we're going to use Pomerium to secure it. I think I'll just do this on my computer today. But like we were deploying stuff to DigitalOcean the other day, so like you could put it up over there too. But essentially, that's what Open Web UI is. And there's a couple ways you can install it. You can get started with Docker and run the whole thing. You can use GPUs or not. I think for running on my machine, I think you can use the GPUs. Yeah, we'll see. But basically, no, we don't want to use the dev branch. But essentially, you can just go hit this on your local machine at localhost 3000. And what we're going to do is we're going to secure it with Pomerium. And essentially, the idea is like I've been working on some stuff for my own home network where I'm going to be able to manage stuff like I'm going to add ad guard just for ads and some DNS stuff. But I want to be able to access that remotely. So I'm going to configure it behind Pomerium. I might want to access my router to change some settings. Like right now, I have an app for it and stuff. But, part of this is me dogfooding our product, but also it is more secure this way. And the other thing is, yeah, just securing Open Web UI so that I could access it remotely as well if I wanted to. So I kind of have my own, kind of free chat GPT, but I could make this available on the entire network for the family and they could use it as well. So that's kind of the ideas. And you obviously don't want this open to everybody. So that's why we need to secure it. And Pomerium really is a good fit for this. So just going to take a sip of coffee. Cool. All right. So I might have this running already, actually. So let me see. What do I have? Okay. Oh, cool. I got linear over there. I'll just move that off screen. Cool. Let's see what I have running right now. Let's zoom this in. Docker PS. Okay, so I'm running Pomerium right now. I'm not sure which one I'm running. So I've got a few for demos and stuff. So let's just go see. Uh, Let me take this off screen for 1 sec because I just want to check the Docker Compose YAML file. Uh, okay, where is that? Let's go to the dev. All right, demos, ls. I think this might be the Pomerium post hog one, maybe. Let's just see. Pom hog Docker. All right. I think it might be that one, but I'm not sure. Okay, quick. Okay, let's see here. Let me see which ones I have. Let's go to Pomerium. So the way I'm running Pomerium right now is we have a product called Pomerium Zero. And essentially this is the fastest way to get up and running with Pomerium. Won't go into all the details right now, but basically you have this managed control plane. So you create routes and policies, and then basically those this is basically the UI to do all that. You make all the changes, and then all these changes from the control plane actually run close to the access plane, like in your local network. So it's not like this is running from the cloud. This is really just to configure things, and then it caches it by your access plane. So I just want to see what I have running because I'm really not sure which was running. Let's see here. Let's do Docker PS again. Command 0 bin restarting 23 seconds ago. Let's just do Docker compose down. Okay, so it was the Pomerium post hog one. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so let's go to maybe. I guess we can use that one. It's fine. Doesn't matter. We've got some other stuff in here, but that's okay. So let's just do Docker compose up -d. Cool. And let's just make sure this is running. Status seems to be up. Let's just double check this. Let's check the verify endpoint. Okay. So that's the one that's up and running, I believe. So cool. All right. So that is running good. And we're going to configure one here. Let's create a new route. Just going to do a custom route. We'll just call this, I don't know, my LLM. I don't know. And then we'll just say, I guess we can call it, let's just call it chat. And it's going to take the rest of the domain name that Pomerium 0 provides for us. So this manages certificates for all that. And we're going to point it to HTTP, not localhost 3000. I'm putting this right now, but we're going to get my IP. So give me one sec here. What is my IP? Da, da, da. Cool. So we need the IP address because from Pomerium, it's not going to localhost would probably be where it's running, and like we need the actual IP. So what this is going to do is when you go to chat.delicatelinus blah 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 there, it's going to actually go to this internal app. And this is getting back to what Pomerium's really good at. It runs at your network's edge and it secures your internal apps. So and I'm just going to say only Nick right now, and I'm going to save that route, and I'll just show you that that policy is only Nick. So right now it just checks email is ntaylor@pomerium.com, which is me. And if we go to the routes again and we check the verify route, we can see the, oops, that's not what I meant to do. If we click on the verify route, you can see that it's me, ntaylor@pomerium.com. So all good. Cool. So that's one part. And just stuff's popping up on Slack here, just seeing if anything. All right, cool. All right, cool. That's all good. Nice. All right, cool, cool. So let's go ahead and get this up and running. Okay, so there's a few things you can do. So we've got Olama running already. So in that case, we can probably just run Open Web UI. I think with GPUs. This is bundled with Olama, but I already have Olama running. But if you did want to do both, you could. So I think this would work. Host doc and internal gateway. Okay, let's just use this one and let's see what happens here. Let's bring this back over. And we can just go back to here. All right, so this should start. Sure. So this is pulling down the Open Web UI Docker images. So we'll just give that a second. While that's going on, just gonna go take a peek over on socials. Cool, cool. All right, clear, and let's Okay, so that should be good now. So if we do Docker PS, okay, so we can see Open Web UI is running. Seems to be healthy. Okay, cool. So now if I go to localhost 3000. Okay, so this is the getting started for the Open Web UI, and I can just put my name, Nick, and Taylor at Pomerium. Okay, I'm just going to create an account right now. This is just to show you this. So this is the UI, and it's going to look very similar to like Claude or ChatGPT or whatever you're using. So I can say like new chat. So let's see here. Um, how do I find the prime numbers in a one-dimensional array? And so this happens to be using DeepSeek, I believe, and it's going to go ahead and think, and then should give us an answer at some point. I'm not sure if I have DeepSeek installed or not. I don't see it there. Let's go here. Let's switch it back to new chat. Let's do Code Llama. So, yeah. How do you find prime numbers in a one-dimensional array? I should actually check if I have these models installed. Hold on a sec. Code Llama, whoops, not Code Llama, Ollama list. If I knew how to spell. Okay, I've got DeepSeek, Code Llama, Fine Llama 3.2. Okay, there. So it's answering. So basically, right now I have Ollama running on my local with Open Web UI. So I've got basically my own Chat GPT kind of on my local. So let's go back over here and let's go to the routes. So I got my LLM. Let's try and go to chat now. Okay, so it's down, it's saying. So this is good though. The route is working. And it says, okay, so your browser's working, Pomerium's working, it's saying the upstream host. So basically, excuse me, what I'm running, Open Web UI, is not working right now. So let's go see what's up. I have a feeling you can't access it by IP. So let's go and figure that out. All right. The beauty of live coding. So let's see here. Yeah, let me try accessing it by the IP. So let's close this. You don't need to verify. I just heard a beep somewhere and I have no idea what it is. It's like I got a notification somewhere, but no idea where. Let me see. It's definitely not a socials beep thing. I don't know where that beep came from, but let's see here. Yeah, who knows? It's a mystery. Okay, cool. But what I wanted to check was, let's go to the route here, and we'll just call it my chat actually instead. And I want to see if I have a feeling if I save this, not save that, but if I go to this route, it's not going to load. Yeah. So, okay. Let's have some fun and ask Open Web UI itself. I know it's because it's probably only bound to localhost. I'm running open. Let's do a new chat. And let's do. Okay, let's try another one. We'll go here. I'm running open web UI on my local host port 3000, but I can't access it by IP. I have to bind to like 0.0.0, but with that Docker command, I'm not sure how. I think it's just add host, maybe. We'll see. Uh, this is the command I ran. Okay. Let's see here. I feel like this is maybe more complicated than it needs to be, but let's see. Instead of using, yeah, okay. I figured it was that. You can use the container's actual address to do this. First, find out the container's IP address. No, that's not what I don't need the container's address. I want it to be my publicly. Oh, I know what it is. Sorry, it's not my public IP because that would defeat the purpose. It's my internal IP. Silly me. Because this this makes sense because I was saying like this is for securing your internal app, so like I clearly can't hit it from the external IP. So let me just get my my actual IP. Man, hold on a sec here. Cool. All right, let's go to network. Yes, that would make a lot more sense. And if I save this, so let's go. Okay, so I can access it that way. Perfect. So now let's go to the chat. So now, just to be clear what's happening here, I'm going through Pomerium. It's securing my local network, so like my internal apps, and I have access to Open Web UI here now. So ntaylor at pomerium.com. There's still some more steps to do, but I just cool. So now I'm signed in, and this is secured with Pomerium, which is great. But it's kind of a little annoying that if we do the whole flow here, let me go to back to Pomerium. So let's just log out of the verify. So I'm just going to log out here. All right. So this would be the flow. Like say I haven't logged in yet. I'm going to say I need to go access my Open Web UI on my local network. So I'm going to use Pomerium. So I'm going to this URL. Is it that? Oh, I don't think I logged out completely, maybe. Maybe that's it. Oh, it's because I think it's the session is preserved for 14 hours by default. I think that's what it is. I think that might be it here. Let me just do, let's do this. Let's do an incognito. All right, so I'm gonna have to log in here now. So I'm gonna log in with Google here, and all right. Yeah, okay, let me turn that off for a sec because I don't need people to see everything. Cool, just gonna log in with my work Gmail. Okay, that's all good. And let's bring it back to the screen. There we go. So I'm now logged in through Pomerium, and I have like we said, if we go to like, for example, verify, we can see it's me. I'm logged in. But it'd be kind of nice that once we log in through the single sign-on, that we can actually automatically be logged into Open Web UI, and you can do that. So that's what we're going to do next. So let's close a few here, and this is where that tutorial comes in. Secure LLMs, Pomerium. So we've got everything running already. We've got Olama running, we've got Open Web UI, and we've got Pomerium running. So, and it is secure right now, but like I said, it's kind of annoying to have to do this double login. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at, if we come down here, so I got to turn my fan on a bit, or you know what? I'm going to take this off. I'm kind of melting here. It's like minus 12 Celsius out, which is still tolerable, but it's starting to get cold. But I'm in the basement in my office and I'm starting to melt with a sweater on. Okay, so basically with Pomerium, we get these claims in the JWT, so we can pass these identity headers. So that's the first thing we need to do. So let me close a bunch of these things here. Whoops, did not want to get out of there, but that's fine. Let's close that. Cool. Now, let's just open up another one. Let's go to pomerium.com again. Okay, let me log in. Cool. All right, so if we look at the verify, we're going to go to some not super advanced. We're going to go to this verify route, and we're going to see here that identity headers are being passed right now. They're being inherited, I believe. We're going to go to our route, and then we're going to go to my chat, and we're going to say headers. And okay, so if applied passes the X Pomerium JWT claims, that's what we were seeing over here. That's what this is. Not AdGuard. How did I get into AdGuard? Oh, man. Okay, yeah. So we have this X Pomerium claim email, and we can see this in the verify. So like if we go to verify, wrong one, that's another test, lioness. What is it? Hold on a sec. Let's go back here. There's some UI improvements I think we need to do, but not for today. Okay, am I in the incognito one? No, okay. All right, so I'm gonna log in and you can see this is gonna be that Pomerium claim here, and that's gonna have my email. And we can actually use that to log in automatically with Open Web UI. So if we look over here and we scroll down, so you can still run Open Web UI in Docker. We just need to configure Pomerium to secure it. We've done that. We've accessed the LLM UI through a protected URL. We've done that. We've set up Pomerium 0 and all that. Okay, so we've created the routes and stuff. All this is done. This is basically everything I went through already. And it says we should enable WebSockets as well, so we can do that. So let's go to the My Chat, and where is that? Actually, where is that setting? Under timeouts. Not sure why it's under timeouts, but okay, let's save that. Cool. Let's go to My Chat again, and if we keep scrolling down here, I'm actually going to ask that question. Why under timeouts? I'm going to ask that in my work Slack after, because that just doesn't seem obvious to me for some reason. Okay. Let's just add this to the notes here. Cool. All right. So that's good. And we're just going to make sure we pass the identity headers. We're going to be explicit about it. So we're going to go to headers. And this means we're absolutely passing the identity headers. So now when we go to the chat, we will have access to that header, and it can be used to log in. So we've got that. We need to go, this ensures Pomerium forwards identity like preserve host header on. Okay, so we got to do that too. So having these two settings will allow us to forward the identity info like X claim email. So let's do that other one. So let's go into settings again. Where was it? Okay, yeah, it's the same place. Sorry. So under headers, and then preserve host header. And where's that other one? Let's see here. Pomerium claim email. I don't have that section. Can I add that, I guess? So let's see here. Preserve host header on in settings. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure why I don't see that. And this is maybe the UI updated. Let me go ahead and save this. Let's go to headers. Let's see here. Nothing there. Yeah. To be clear, though, we are secure already. This is just to make it a little easier. Why don't I see anything to add? I don't think it's this because I don't think it's a property header. Let me come back here. Let's add this to move tab to, how do you do that in Edge? You can get them side by side. Where is it? It doesn't matter. Let's just put them side by side for now. So let's do that. Boom. Let's bring this over here. And let's come back over here. So that's all good. That's all good. Yeah, done all that. Done the WebSocket. So enable these settings. So open web UI. Okay, that's good. So, okay, in settings. Oh, okay, whoops, that's why. Header. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just don't know how to read. So let's add a X Primarium claim email. And what else does it say? Where did I see that before? How come I'm not seeing it like I saw it before? Hold on a sec. So we got the X Primarium claim email. Okay, yeah, email. Okay, is the value. Sounds good. Let's do that. Let's add property. And so if you're curious about this, you can drop it here. Yeah, so we can do request headers to pass these things. So now let's go ahead and let's save those settings. And then if we come back to the route again, we've got my chat. We've got the headers. So we're passing the identity headers and we're preserving the host header. And we should be good now. Okay, so that should all be configured. The next part is configuring open web UI. So there's two things we need to pass. So example Docker compose. Okay, I have open web UI running with Docker right now, so we could do it this way, I guess. But essentially, we just need, these are the two things to, if we make this bigger, these are the two things to do. Since I'm running Docker right now, like we could do it this way, but I'm already running Docker, but maybe it makes more sense to run it this way. And also, we should say that you need to create a folder. I'm just gonna probably update some of these docs here. Let's put this for, let me copy a link here. For that, for this in the compose YAML, ensure the directory is created. Okay, we can do it this way, but otherwise we could just pass these things to the Docker run. So since I'm already set up and we're wrapping up in about 12 minutes because I have a one-on-one, let's see here. So let's go back to Open Web UI. Localhost 3000. Let's leverage our local LLM. So, all right. So let's see here. Okay. Uh, with that Docker command. And for some context, I'm not a like Docker guru yet, so I'm still learning Docker and Docker Compose. I know the basics. I know you can pass environment variables in the compose.yaml. I'm just wondering about to Docker. Do we just export them? So what with that Docker command, how do I pass these to envars into Docker? Okay, there we go. So basically, let's try that now. So let's come here, Docker PS, and we're going to do Docker stop. This, did I, okay, that's still open, good. Then we'll do Docker PS. So I've just got Pomerium running now. Cool. Now let's fire this baby up. You can also use the -e flag to set environment variables multiple times. Okay, this way you don't need to specify the environment variables multiple times. Okay, this looks the same though. All right, anyways, let's just copy this. Let's clear, let's run this. Response conflict, the container name already exists. Okay, you have to remove, so docker rm. I can probably just start this back up, but which I know how to do with the compose.yaml, but let's just do this for now. Boom. Okay. Create file not found or path unknown. Okay. Let's see here. Docker PS. There. Is it because it didn't like? Actually, let me check here. It's clear. Docker run -d. It's this one. All right. And I've stopped it now, so I can't check that, but let's see here. Conflict container, open web UI is already used by a container. Okay. Docker rm. Okay, we actually want the command I was using before. Let's get it back here. Let's just copy this one. Okay, Docker PS. Okay, it seems to be running. So if I refresh this, okay, so there we go. So now the settings have kicked in. It's saying I'm unauthorized because I have not provided a trusted header. So I can't access this locally right now. Now, you might be like, well, I want to be able to access it locally. You still can. You can just go through Pomerium now because it's going to be securing it on your local network. And this is like in a real world situation where, yes, this is just my local host right now, but picture network access where it's really just going to be, you want people always going through one place, and that's Primarium. So let's come back over here. All right. I'm already logged in, but now let's go to it and hopefully this works. Okay. So notice now I didn't have to log in or anything. I can see here, um, account. Uh, it just trusted that it was me. And I don't know if we can see the header right now, but like, let's go to network. We'll just do it on the dock. Let's clear. What did I have here? There. I went in too deep here. So let's go here and yeah, we got the cookie and stuff, and yeah, envoy, X-frame, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to see the header here, but is it the, no, it's not the response header. So what am I saying? Where is it? Yeah, I don't think I can see it here, but let me double check. Like, yeah, no, I don't think I'll be able to see it here. But basically, now just to kind of reiterate what we've done here. So let's go back to, let's go into a new window here. So like I had a policy where, actually, let's try logging in as somebody else. So let's go to verify. No, wrong one. Let's just go back. I don't know why it doesn't remember my verify URL. But let's go to the verify. And actually, it's not there. I need to log out. It's the chat. Should be able to sign out. It's still keeping me logged in because of the Primarium. But let's do this. Let's just do a new window. I have to get a better understanding, but Primarium refreshes it. But I wonder, that tutorial doesn't cover it, but maybe you just don't need to log out of the chat because you're always going through Primarium. But I'll have to double check on that. But let's log in with GitHub. Cool. Let's use the passkey. All right. So I'm logged in, and now this is Git. So I'm logged in to the chat, but I don't have access to it because we set a policy. So just to be clear, I logged in with my GitHub account now. My GitHub account email that I have available is nick@nickyt.co, not the other one. So now if we come back to Primarium, so it's only Nick right now. So let's go to policies. Now we could say allow all. And if we look at this one, this just means everybody. Oh, actually I haven't set, oh yeah, it's public access. That's not what we want. That was for the post hog demo I did the other day. But we could add another policy. So we could just say new policy. And I don't want it to be any authenticated user because anybody could access it then. So like, actually, let's go back to the policy I have for only Nick. And right now I have the email is ntaylor@primarium.com, but let's also add nick@nickyt.co, save policy. Now if I refresh here, did that apply? Let me make sure that's right. Oh, wait, or, oh no, that's incorrect what I did. It's not and, that's not gonna work. And then we'll say, or, that makes more sense. nick@nickyt.co. Save policy. Did I do something wrong? Well, it's a demo. Something's bound to go wrong, but let me just see here. Email is nick@nickyt.co. User info, nick at nick. Oh my God, I'm so silly. Email, not domain. Save policy. Let's go back. Let's refresh this. Is that it? Email is and Taylor. It reset it. Okay, that's a pain point. Resetting it when I already had a value, because the value might still be good. This is just some UX feedback. All right, let's save that. Okay, one more time. There we go. Okay, so it says I do not have access to uh, hit this resource maybe. Okay, why is that? Is that claim not good? Okay, well, we'll have to see. But the policy got updated and I still accessed it. Now, why is it saying that I can't access it? You do not have permissions to access this resource, please. Oh, maybe it's because I think I only when I created the Open Web UI, I created an administrator account. So I think even though there's the claims to check, I shouldn't have created any users. I think um, if I create a user, it would probably work. Anyways, all that to show you the policies are in place. So uh, just to reiterate, we've got Primarium up and running. This is what sits at your network's edge. This is guarding your internal apps. So in our case for today, the internal app was Open Web UI, which is running Olama to get information when you ask questions for a large language model. So like that's like Code Llama or whichever one. We configured a route for the chat here. So right here, we did some changes to the settings. So the headers, we wanted to make sure we pass the identity headers. That's good. We also had to change the settings to pass in a JWT claims header, and the value is email. And then this gets wired up into a different mode that Open Web UI can run with, which is you can pass it with, in terms of authentication. If I come back to Ghosty here, clear, we can actually say we don't need to do Web UI auth. This is an Open Web UI thing. We set it to false, but we say there's a trusted uh, auth trusted email header and it's Primarium claim email. And that's what we configured in the settings down here. And it is secure because you can only access this through Primarium. So that's kind of the whole flow, I think. I think it worked out pretty well. There's a couple things, I caught there. Like, I think there's some UX that could be better, like this is just in general, but for the routes here, or when I was in the policy here where I said like, okay, let's add another one here. So let's do or not or whatever. And then I say primarium.com. I'm like, oh no, I didn't mean domain, I meant email. And it clears the value. As a user, I'd rather it keep my value. Curious what people think, but that's my thoughts. And I took a few notes down of some stuff to clean up. But overall, I think this went pretty well. And I've lost my chat window. Where did you go, chatty? All right, there you are, chat. Cool, cool. Oh, hey, Arvin. Sorry, I missed you before. I was deep in the weeds of stuff. But anyways, so we're all good here now. And I think that's where we'll wrap up. Like I said, we've got a live stream happening on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's 3 p.m. UTC. Here, I'll just drop a link to it again here. Let's go back to live. Yeah, so I'm going to be hanging out with Becca, who's actually an old coworker of mine. And we're going to be talking about what's your content stack. And that's going to be she's going to be talking about the Linux Foundation where she's at now. We're going to talk about open source, and we're going to talk about how to share insights on creating content that resonates with devs. So thanks everybody for hanging. I got to jump off for a one-on-one, and we will see you in the next one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See you Thursday. I might be back. I got a busy streaming week, but I might be back on Thursday, Friday doing some streaming. We'll see. Anyways, take care, everybody.